Before we get started on some examples, one thing I want you to write down, and make sure you're writing everything down that I am. The slope of a line is always a fraction. For example, the slope of a line could be 1 over 2, or it could be 2 over 3. It could be 5, which you might say isn't a fraction, but you can always throw a 1 underneath it to make it look like a fraction. Now, the reason slope has always got to be a fraction is because it's describing the steepness of a line. So if a line is really steep, it's like a black diamond if you were skiing, and it would have a very large slope like 5 over 1. If your slope was like the bunny hill, it would probably have a very low slope or small slope like 1 over 2. Now, the slope describes the line by talking about the rise over the run. So the rise of a line is how far you go up or down to get to the next point, whereas the run is right or left. Okay, so we're going to do an example before, well, our first example. We're going to find the slope of a line given 2 points. So our 2 points are going to be 1, 1 and 4, 3. Now on a graph, and I know you don't have graph paper, so you can just kind of estimate. The first point is 1, 1, so I'm going to go 1 to the right and up 1. My second point is 4, 3. Now when plotting a point, the first number is your x and the second number is your y. So the first number is telling you which way to go on the x, and the second one is telling you which way to go on the y. So from starting in the middle, I'm going to move on the x-axis, which is this one, 4 units to the right because it's positive. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to make a point yet. I have to finish it off. I'm going to go 3 units on my y. It's a positive 3, so I'm going to go up 3. That's my second point. Okay? Go ahead and connect those to make a line. And again, on your paper, just do the best you can to draw that line. And this is the line going through those 2 points. But the goal here is to find the slope. Now your slope is rise over run. So what I do is I always start at the lowest point on my line, and I'm going to do the rise over the run. Okay, so how many steps up, how many boxes are there to get up, even with the other point? So my rise, I went up 2, so that's a positive 2. And I went to the right, which is positive 3, so that's a positive 3. It's kind of like in a hotel. If you're trying to get to your room and you're at the bottom of the floor, you have to go up the elevator before you can walk to your room. So the slope for this example, my rise is a positive 2 and my run is a positive 3. That's the slope. Okay? Alright, so now we're going to find another example. We're going to do find the slope of a line given 2 points. Negative 1, 2, and negative 4, 4. Now, you're not always going to have graph paper available. Sometimes you just have 2 points, and using graph paper makes it more difficult. So here's what I like to do. I like to put my points like this right here. I could plot them and count up and over, but it's a lot of work. I just want to know on a number line, what do I do? What is my rise? What is my change in y's? Okay, because these are my y's, and these are my x's. So what do I do to get from 2 to 4? Now, if you're not sure, you can always use a number line, and we're going to start at 2, and I got to get to 4. I'm adding 2. Okay? What do I do to get from negative 1 to negative 4? Number line, you're going to start at negative 1 right here. We have to go to negative 4, 1, 2, 3. I went backwards to the negative direction 3 units. So my slope for this example, it's always the y's, it's the rise. Remember, this is your rise, the change in the y's, and this is your run, is positive 2 over negative 3. Okay? It's that simple. That's how you find the slope of a line. It's a negative slope. So when we graph this, make sure you know that it's going to be going in this direction. Nice, nice negative. Puff, puff, positive. It's a negative slope. All right, let's do another one. It's going to find the slope of a line going through the 2 points, 2, 4, and 3, negative 2. Again, they're 2 points on a line. If you wanted to graph them and count, you could. Just kind of time consuming. What do you do to 4? Start at 4 on your number line and get to negative 2. I'm going to start at 4 on my number line and go all the way down here to negative 2. How many steps is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I went down 6. I went to the left 6. If you're going in that direction, it's negative. What do I do from 2 to get to 3? 2 to 3. I went in the positive direction 1. So the slope of my line, it's always the change in y's, the y, so it's negative 6 over a positive 1. You can leave it negative 6 over 1. You can call it negative 6 if you want. Without the 1 on the bottom, doesn't really matter. Let's do another one. Negative 5, negative 8, and negative 2, negative 4. Now notice I wrote them next to each other. I just wanted to show you sometimes this is how, usually this is how it's written. What I do is I rewrite it underneath each other and cross this out. Or when I write it down on my paper, I do it that way. Alright, negative 8 to negative 4. So on your number line, we're going to start at negative 8. We want to go to negative 4. So negative 8 to negative 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4 in a positive direction. To get from negative 5 to negative 2, you're going to go from, kind of messy here, we're going to start at negative 5 and we're going to go to negative 2. So it's 1, 2, 3 in the positive direction. So the slope for this line is positive 4 over positive 3. Alright, let's get one more example in here. 7, 0, and negative 1, negative 4. 0 to negative 4 on a number line. Start at 0 and you're going to go backwards 4, so it's minus 4. 7 to negative 1, you're starting at 7. You're starting at 7 and you have to go to negative 1. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units to the left, so it's backwards. So our slope is negative 4 over negative 8. If you have a negative on the top and bottom, they cancel out. Slope should always be a simplified slope. And 4 over 8 can be reduced. 4 goes into both of them. If you divide both by 4, you end up with 4 divided by 4 is 1, 8 divided by 4 is 2. This slope is 1 over 2. All right, one more, and then I really will be done. But I just want to show you this special case. One more example. Example 6. What if you have 28, 4 and 28, -8? What do you do from 4 to -8? That would be subtracting 12. What do you do 28 to get to 28? 0. So this slope is -12. The rise is always on the top over 0. Now is this undefined or is it 0? If you punch that in your calculator, it says error. Another good way to remember, if you have a number with 0 on the bottom, that is no solution, it's undefined. That's what your answer is. If, just side note, you had 0 over a number, you could try to remember that's like 0 over a number k, which is okay, and it's equal to 0. Alright, so now you're going to do some practice work and go formative, and then you can watch the next video.